Hello, and welcome back to the Denise Network. So I'm just gonna go and say thank you guys for showing love to the video. 170, over 170 views. Guys, what were you doing with my video? Who are you sharing my video with? Oh God, I was scared for a second. I was like, what's going on? What's happening? I was scared. No, genuinely, I was scared. I was genuinely scared because I was like, what if this got into the hands of the wrong people? And but at some point I was like, no, but this is good. That means what I said was either nonsense or it was something of value between the two. But anyway, so let's get into the nitty gritty of what I want to speak about today. It's sort of a continuation of the last video that I did, and this one is more of in a positive light. It's me giving what I think could be the solutions to the problems that I spoke about in the previous video, and just how we can move forward as a collective, as a church, as a people, right? So church is not perfect, but it can be efficient. It's not every place on planet Earth that's perfect, but we can find ways to live and work within those spaces. It's not, I think one thing also, I think an issue with myself is we're always looking for perfection. I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, and I'm learning not to be, and just to accept things as they are and work with what I've got. It's a difficult process, but it has to be done. Otherwise, I'll forever make everybody around me suffer, and I don't want that. I do not want that. So a few of the suggestions that I could make is, one, code of conduct. Everybody needs to have, or every organization has to have a code of conduct, whether formal or informal. There has to be a way that everybody knows that we need to conduct ourselves in this manner. And if we do not conduct ourselves in this manner, or if you go against the rules and the regulations of this organization, these are the consequences. They may not be the same through every organization, but we do things in a way that suits the organization best, right? Be it church, company, non-profit, be it whatever. Everything has to have a way that it runs. There has to be a system. For example, if you go to a formal company, they have an HR department where they look through, they are responsible for the hiring process. They are responsible for coming up with contracts, rules, regulations, all of that stuff. And I think every organization needs to have someone like that, where they go through everybody that's there, the qualifications. Do they have the qualifications? Are they qualified for the job? And if they are, this is how they should conduct themselves. These are the rules and regulations. If they go against those rules and regulations, these are the consequences: verbal, written, fired, suspension, whatever you can think of. That needs to happen so that everybody below and around can see that, okay, so these people have a way that they work, and if we go against the way that they work, there will be consequences. People say, but it's church and we can't do church stuff like that. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do, and it may seem a little harsh, but it's for the benefit of those that are gonna come in, and it's for our safety as well. And I know right now there's a whole thing in South Africa where they want to regulate the church. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they want to regulate the church and all of that stuff because there's too much there's too much chaos and messiness that's happening within churches, that now they feel the need to put us in a box because we can't put ourselves in a box. We have the so-called we are abusing free will, in my opinion. Some of these churches are abusing the free will that they've been given. And I'm not saying I'm for or against it, but I think for some of these organizations, it could be a way to just help keep things in line, some way, somehow, right? Another thing where I was talking about the last video, where I was like, the profits of the church should be the people and not actual money, right? Because from those people comes the money. But if we're not caring for the people that are there, if we're not looking after what God has given us stewardship over, then what are we doing, really, right? If we're prioritizing money over people, then we're simply making a mistake. And I love that of late, or maybe late last year, they were really honing in on the neighbor, the prodigal son, the the one sheep out of the 99. How important it is to ensure that we are working together as a family. And if one person in the family is struggling, not coming to church, not doing this, not doing that, we follow up and we show genuine concern and care for that person and find out, like, what's going on, man? You're not okay. How can we help? What's going on? What can we do for you? And that's, and I think we need to go back to those basics and forget about everything else, but focus on the soul itself, because the soul is what's important. We are here to win souls. We're not here to win money. No, not at all. So I'm going to move on. Codependence on one person stops efficient functionality. I think that's self-explanatory. If we're always waiting for one person to tell us what to do, then what are we doing? You're not an adult, you're a child. Sorry, that was mean, but that's the truth. Then you're not an adult, you're a child who's constantly waiting for instruction. An adult knows what to do, when they need to do it, how they need to do it. And if they make a mistake, they'll be like, hey, I've done it, but feedback. This is when we need to be able to take criticism. When we make a mistake, of like, hey, you made a mistake here, and I appreciate what you've done, but you've made a mistake here, 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 and here, and I would like you to fix here and here and here next time if you're gonna go back and do it again, right? That type of thing. We shouldn't immediately crush someone's point or crush someone's perspective or crush someone's idea just because you think that it's not gonna make you look good. It's too much of time wasting for you, whatever. But we should be very open to other people's ideas, concepts, so that we can move things along in a positive way, right? Like I spoke about in the last video, there's a need for unity. We need to work together as a unit. We are too much of, what is this? I don't know. We've singled ourselves out as individuals, even though we're part of a team. Instead of saying that, okay, I do this, right? How can I contribute to the team with the skills that I have? Not this is the skill that I have and I'm the only person that can have the skill and should have the skill. And if anyone has the same skill as me, I have to make sure that I make their life a living nightmare forever till Jesus comes. No, we need to learn to work together, teach each other, learn from each other, exchange skills, abilities, and every single one of those things so that we grow. The whole point of existence is growth and evolution, right? I think so. So just the last 2 points. Your subordinates are not your slaves, but your partners in the growth of the ministry. The people under you are not your enemy. The people under you are not here to, like I said in the last video, we're not here to take your position. We're here to help you, do the best that you can in the position that you are in. I'm here to just help you grow as a leader. I'm here to make sure. And if you think somebody coming up with a good idea is a threat to your position, then, like I said, problem. If I come to you as my leader and I'm like, hey, I have this idea, I have this concept, I have this thing that I'd like us to try, don't be quick to crush it. Just be like, hey, if you know how to go about this idea, come up with a plan, whatever, come up with the concept, whatever, let's see how best we can implement it with what we've got, and then we take it from there, right? If you feel the need to explain that, okay, wait, I hear your idea, I've heard you, but let me go and speak to so-and-so so I can hear their input as well, and then I'll get back to you, right? Even though sometimes that's a bit annoying because sometimes they never get back to you or sometimes they take that idea, make it their own, and then they don't give you credit for it. And not that we're doing things to get credit, but credit must be given where credit is due, right? I think that's fair. And if you care for the people underneath you and you take care of them well and you treat them with respect, you treat them with love, care, and the love that Christ solely says we should give, then you'll see people actually grow, develop, and really reach their fullest potential in the house of God. You'll see them become who God has called them to be because you're nurturing them. You're looking after them, you're growing them, you're actively ensuring that the soul and the spirit and the mind of this person are in alignment with God's principles, they're in alignment with the Spirit of God, and they constantly, there's a constant back and forth and a constant uplifting, and it's not just in the good times, but even in the bad times, because that's important. Your value is determined in how well you stick around when things are bad to a person. If somebody is going through something and you immediately recuse yourself or you step back from that person, then you don't really value me as a person. You don't really love me. You just love me when times are good, but if things are bad, you're immediately like, bye-bye. That's not right. We should not do that. So care for those that are already there and watch them refer others. Like a referral system. Like I said, if you take good care of what you already have and you are a good steward of what you've already got, be it people, money, things, then it expands, then it grows, then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It continues to grow. And then like I said before, one of the most important things, or one of the main purposes that we're here is to grow, create, and evolve. Right? There's many reasons why we're here, but we're here to grow, create, and evolve. And if we're not doing that in the spaces that we're in, then what are we doing? That's the question. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the reason of what you're doing? Is it selfish? Or does it have the people in mind, right? And last but not least, evangelism begins at home. Evangelism begins at home. Charity begins at home. Hospitality begins at home. If you're already not a hospitable person, what makes you think that you're going to be hospitable out there? It doesn't matter how long you pretend. Eventually people catch out that you're not actually who you say you are. So let's work on looking after, like I said, being good stewards of what we've been given by the Lord, right? And let's start evangelizing to the people that are already there. You know something that I don't know. You have a revelation about something that I don't know. But if we exchange ideas, revelations, preachings, the word, if we're constantly just going back and forth about the things of God, and I'm uplifted and I'm growing, and the people outside the church space that I'm in are seeing that I'm growing, they also want to know, like, what's going on? Like, where do you go to church? Where do you pray? Where do you fellowship? And they'll be like, I'd like to join you. Even if you invite them, even if they don't say, I'd like to join you, invite, friend, can please come to church, they would be more than happy to come with you. They'll be more than happy to come with you because they're seeing positive results from what you're doing or what is happening in the house that you're coming from. So if we're not uplifting, feeding, and looking after and taking care of each other, then we're clearly making a mistake. Everything begins in-house and spreads out. And if we're not working on what's on the inside, then it'll never show on the outside. Right? So that is my 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cents of just a follow-up from the previous video. Hopefully, people understand where I'm coming from and they don't take offense. I am in no way trying to tell people what to do. I'm merely suggesting what could be done and how we can proceed forward and how we can be a better people and better Christians, right? That's all I'm saying. But from next week, we will be back to faith and feelings, mental health, and why that is important. That series is slowly coming to an end as well. So I think there's like 3-4 episodes that I'm currently working on and just doing my research on. And we're going to be starting a new series. We're coming back with relationship content. I'm super excited for it because it's something that's my OG idea, guys. That's my baby, that's my baby. And sometimes your baby needs to come home and you just need to make sure that everything is well. But the name changes. It's now called Love and Lessons. We're going to be talking about love and the lessons that it is teaching us and that it has taught us. We're going to be talking about some stuff. We're going to, I'm old now, Let me not say I'm old. I'm not old. But I am 27. And I'm getting I'm close to my 30s, and I'm like, the dating pool has pee in it. And we need to clean it up. We need to clean it up, and we need to see what's going on and help each other along. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us, the majority of us, want to have meaningful relationships. We want to get married. We want to be wives, husbands, fathers, mothers. You know, we want to be all of that stuff. So let's get back on the drawing board and see how we can move forward. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, love, light, and happiness. I will see you guys next week. Bye.